Wasn't nothing going on. The NBA Finals isn't until Thursday, so it was no sports. And WNBA got some shine, and it was like one of the focal points that was everyone was talking about. So you had this hard. Some people are saying it was a flop from Caitlin Clark, but this Kennedy girl from the Sky team, she hit her pretty hard. The GM from Indiana Fever called out the league, and I think Matt Barnes had a good point, and he said, "Yeah, why are Caitlin Clark's teammates not standing up for her? That's kind of weak. I mean, maybe that's why they're 2-8, but no one stands up for this girl. I think that's kind of alarming that her own teammates don't even stand up for her. But you can tell, and I said in the past, you could tell there's some resentment and some jealousy there. And if you think that was made up or I'm just crazy, Monica McNutt, the girl from First Take, basically said the same thing. There's veterans who've been in that league for however you want to say it's unsuccessful, because it is, but they've put in their time and they've put in their work, and they'd be damned if some girl is going to come in and get treated like royalty. They feel like she's going to earn it, and they're going to treat her like they do the rest of the rookies. Like I say, this is a physical sport. I mean, this is basketball. This isn't some bra and panties contest. So I don't know why everybody's like, to me, people are overanalyzing every piece of physicality in this, in WNBA right now. But the good thing is people are talking about it and people are watching, and the ratings are going up. And First Take was talking about this, and Shannon and Stephen A, I guess, was on the Caitlin Clark side, and Monica McNutt was basically saying, reiterating what I said as far as these women, they're just not going to sit here and tolerate this. And there is some resentment, but this is what she had to say, and you could tell it really pissed off Stephen A, because if she goes in on her stance, she calls him out for not covering the WNBA up until this point.
We're talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, so let me, I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman, Stephen A., and how you have to dance about your word choice and you have to please everybody and anybody as you navigate your being. We are talking about the world's greatest
How about being a black man?
Being black. Hold on 1 second. Have you? So this is what I'm saying to y'all, though, and I know we got to go to break, and we didn't necessarily go there, and maybe we should. There are so many layers in this conversation around the way that it's being discussed. No. And yes, Shannon, I know y'all are going to say and Stephen A, I know you just shared that you have talked about the WNBA on your program too. You guys may not have said everybody, but the prevailing sentiment for folks that are just joining the WNBA and following women's sports is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take it to the next level. That's all I'm saying in these conversations. Kennedy Carter's behavior is not indicative of the entire league. We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
All right. Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talks about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A, respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow.
All right, we got to go to you guys.
So did you say
you're my guy, but
who does more than
Stephen
us?
A, I'm talking to you.
Wow.
Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
All right, let's,
you're my guy, but I'm talking to you.
Guys, I really appreciate
you my girl, but you've missed a lot of episodes of First Take. You missed a lot.
Stephen A, 3 years ago, you would not talk about the W at this level. Don't do that.
Guys.
Nobody was, Monica.
Guys,
you making Stephen A's point, Monica. Monica, you making Stephen A's point.
Please let me do my job. Please let me do my job. We've gone for 40 minutes straight. It was a riveting discussion. I have to get in the commercial break.
So as you see his reaction, right, he was floored, right? He was baffled, right? He was like, oh, yeah, he couldn't believe it. And, I mean, have they talked about women's issues on First Take? Yeah, I mean, they bashed the Ray Rice conversation to death 10 years ago. They've talked about stuff like that, women's abuse and things like that, but they don't really talk a lot about it. But look, this is where he's going a little too far. He just has to get the last word. Stephen A to me is like a scorned black female. He's got to have the last word no matter what. And of course, he had to come back because she basically had let the mic drop, and she knew it because she kept saying, I know we got to go to break. I know we got to go to break. The producers are in her ear telling her we got to wrap it up. So she does this mic drop. He's floored. He's stunned. He's about to, George Jefferson, have a heart attack like Fred Sanford or something. And now he's got his response to her saying that nobody was covering this on this network exclusively up until this point.
You ever heard of Monica McNutt? You have now, because she's on First Take a lot. Shanae Ogumake, absolutely wonderful, spectacular basketball analyst, etc., WNBA player in her own right. Ask her how it's been to be on First Take. How about Andrea Carter, who's a rising star in this business? How much do you think First Take helped that? What about Kimberly Martin? What about Molly Kiram herself? Now, I have sat back for years and taken a lot of shit from people. Some who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Some who act like they don't know just because they want to get at me. I could care less about people getting at me. I just want you to be accurate. And it is highly offensive to me when somebody implies or flat out states, like Monica McNutt did this morning, which was factually incorrect. I challenge anybody to find a show in sports television that discusses women issues, that discusses the WNBA or women's sports, that highlights and profiles female analysts more than First Take.
So that was Stephen A. His last word he had on his show today. So look, he's coming from a different perspective. She's right as far as them not covering the WNBA because they didn't, and it's a reason for that. There was the audience. It's a reason why they don't cover baseball. If you want to get really deep into it, why don't they cover baseball on First Take other than the World Series? Because they've watered down the audience to just basketball and football. And that audience, for the most part, could care less about the WNBA. It's not enough excitement up until this point, at least. It's not enough physicality. I've always said, it's like, for example, I like college football, but I love the NFL because it's football at the highest level. It's not the second highest level. And when I look at, if I want to watch basketball at its highest level, even on the worst day, NBA is the basketball at its highest level. We all know this. So when you watch other forms of basketball, it could be overseas, it could be WNBA, or anything college, it's a lesser product. It is what it is. And now people are talking about it, and it seems like, I don't know if it's the girls they don't like the spotlight or they jealous, but whatever. But the way he's coming from it, he's like, well, I made you a star by putting you on this show. Now, he likes to say this is his show and whatever. He's the lead, but it's ESPN. But he's got a point. I never heard of Monica McNutt until seeing her on First Take the last few years. I didn't follow her basketball career, all due respect. But there are a lot of women who have become household names somewhat in the sports world because of being on that show. He's got a point. I mean, Mika Combs, the Asian chick, she's made her bread and butter coming on First Take. Jamel Hill, as annoying as she is, she came up on there. It's a lot of them. I mean, but Malika Andrews, don't she? Molly Corum. So I mean, he's got a point with that. But she just she had him floored, man. You seen his reaction? He didn't know what to think. He was like Stephen A. has that scorn baby mama energy, man. He just has it. He had to have the last word. I was like, okay, we get it. But she's got a point. Y'all were not covering WNBA games like this a year ago. Even on the most boring, dullest summer days where there's no NBA, no NFL training camp, baseball's in the middle of the season and it's dry, they still don't talk about basketball from women. They don't. They'll go on vacation for a week and have the scrubs come out, backup duty, before they talk about that. They'll bring Dominique Foxworth and a bunch of people up there and go on vacation and talk about whatever else. They are not, but now they have to because it's too, the algorithm, it's just too much. They have to talk about this now. So let me know what y'all think. Did Stephen A., did she son Stephen A? Did he have a point? Monica McNutt. Like I said, I'm still looking up on Monica McNutt. Like I said, I've only seen her based off First Take. I'd never followed her basketball career. All due respect, I just like, okay, I see they got this. They got this sister with the short hair on First Take. Okay, I noticed that over the last couple of years. Same thing with the dark-skinned girl that be on NBA Countdown. You got the light-skinned chick. She be wearing them short skirts, split down the middle, sundress seasons. Not Malika Andrews, but the other joint. I've noticed that. They've been putting a lot of sisters. ESPN went liberal. They've been putting a lot of sisters on there, and they've been getting their shine. So it is what it is, man. But good for them. Not that sounds bad, but I've noticed. I see you. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.